Hey there, my dear friends. Welcome back to the channel, where we talk about living healthier, happier, and wiser as we embrace our golden years. I'm so glad you're here today because we're diving into something super important, something that could make a big difference in your safety and well-being at home. If you're new here, my name's your name, and this channel is all about sharing practical advice, heartfelt wisdom, and little life-changing tips for us folks in our 50s, 60s, and beyond. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's have a little heart-to-heart. Today, we're talking about something you probably use every single day in your kitchen. It's a tool that seems harmless, but after 60, it might be riskier than you think. I'm not here to scare you, but I want to share some eye-opening insights that could help you stay safe and keep enjoying your time in the kitchen, because, let's be honest, cooking is one of life's great joys, right? Whether you're whipping up your famous lasagna or just making a quick salad. The kitchen is where we create, nourish, and share love with our families. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a video. I'm here every week with tips to help you live your best life. And I'd love for you to join our community of wise, wonderful souls. Alright, let's get into it. What's this one kitchen tool you might want to rethink using after 60? Stick with me, because I'm going to break it all down, share some stories, and give you practical alternatives that'll keep you safe and confident in the kitchen. Why this matters to us? As we get older, our bodies change in ways we don't always notice right away. Maybe your grip isn't as strong as it used to be, or your balance feels a little off some days. These are normal parts of aging, but they can make certain tasks, like cooking, more challenging or even risky. The kitchen is a place of comfort and creativity, but it's also one of the most common places where accidents happen, especially for seniors. According to the National Safety Council, falls and injuries in the home are a leading cause of hospital visits for people over 60. And a lot of those accidents start with something as simple as using the wrong tool. So, what's the one kitchen tool I'm talking about? It's the traditional chef's knife, you know. That big, heavy, super sharp knife you've probably had in your kitchen for years. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying you need to toss out all your knives or stop cooking altogether. But after 60, there are some real reasons why you might want to rethink how you use that chef's knife and consider safer alternatives. Let's break it down together, like friends chatting over coffee. The hidden risks of a chef's knife. First, let's talk about why a chef's knife can be riskier as we age. These knives are fantastic for chopping, slicing, and dicing, but they're also heavy, sharp, and require a lot of control. Here's what makes them tricky for seniors: grip strength and dexterity. As we age, our hands might not be as steady or strong as they once were. Arthritis, joint stiffness, or even just natural muscle changes can make it harder to hold onto a heavy knife securely. If your grip slips while you're chopping carrots, it's easy to nick your finger or worse. Balance and coordination. Using a chef's knife often means standing at the counter for a while, rocking the knife back and forth. If you're dealing with balance issues or fatigue, this repetitive motion can throw you off, increasing the risk of a slip or fall. Sharpness paradox. A dull knife is dangerous because it requires more force, which can lead to slips. But a super sharp chef's knife, while safer in some ways, can cause more serious cuts if you do make a mistake. And let's be real, when you're 60 or older, even a small cut can take longer to heal and might lead to complications. Fatigue. Preparing meals can be tiring, especially if you're cooking for a family or hosting a dinner. A heavy chef's knife requires more energy to use, and fatigue can make you less precise, increasing the chance of an accident. I'll never forget a story my friend Susan shared with me. Susan's in her late 60s, loves cooking, and has always prided herself on her knife skills. But one day, she was rushing to prepare a big holiday meal, and her trusty chef's knife slipped while she was chopping onions. She ended up with a deep cut on her thumb that needed stitches. It wasn't just the pain, it was the weeks of recovery, the frustration of not being able to cook, and the fear of it happening again. That's when she started looking for safer ways to keep doing what she loves. Safer alternatives to the chef's knife. Now, I'm not saying you need to give up cooking or stop chopping veggies altogether. The good news is there are plenty of safer tools and techniques that let you keep creating delicious meals without the risks. Here are some of my favorite alternatives. Smaller, lighter knives. Instead of a big 8-inch chef's knife, try a 5 or 6-inch utility knife or paring knife. These are lighter, easier to control, and still sharp enough to get the job done. Look for ones with ergonomic handles that are comfortable for arthritic hands. Rocker knives. These are a game changer. Rocker knives, sometimes called mezzaluna knives, have a curved blade that you rock back and forth to chop. They're easier to use because you don't need to lift the knife off the cutting board, which reduces strain on your wrists and hands. Mandolin slicer. With safety guard. A mandolin is perfect for slicing veggies quickly and evenly. Just make sure to get one with a good safety guard or use a cut-resistant glove to protect your hands. It's a small investment for a lot of peace of mind. Food processor or chopper. If chopping is becoming too tiring, a small food processor or manual chopper can do the heavy lifting. These gadgets are great for dicing onions, mincing garlic, or even shredding carrots. Plus, they're fun to use and save so much time. Pre-cut produce. There's no shame in buying pre-chopped veggies from the grocery store. Many stores now offer diced onions, sliced bell peppers, or even pre-shredded cabbage. It's a little pricier, but it's worth it if it keeps you safe and makes cooking more enjoyable. Practical tips for safer cooking. Switching tools is just one part of staying safe in the kitchen. Here are some extra tips to make your cooking experience smoother and worry-free. Use a stable cutting board. Get a non-slip cutting board or place a damp towel underneath your board to keep it from sliding. This gives you more control and reduces the chance of accidents. Take breaks. If you're preparing a big meal, don't try to power through. Sit down, have a sip of water, and pace yourself. Cooking should feel like a joy, not a marathon. Sharpen knives safely. If you do keep using knives, make sure they're sharp to reduce the force needed. But instead of sharpening them yourself, consider taking them to a professional or using an electric sharpener that's easy and safe. Good lighting. Make sure your kitchen is well lit so you can see what you're doing. A simple under-cabinet light can make a huge difference. Ask for help. If you're hosting a big dinner, don't be afraid to ask family or friends to pitch in with chopping or prep. It's a great way to bond and share the workload. A personal story. Let me share a little story from my own life. A few years ago, I was chopping potatoes for a big family dinner. I was using my old chef's knife, the one I'd had since my 30s. I was tired, distracted, and, yep, you guessed it, the knife slipped. I didn't need stitches, thank goodness, but I did have a nasty cut that took weeks to heal. It made me realize I needed to make some changes. That's when I started exploring lighter knives and tools like my trusty rocker knife. Now, I feel so much more confident in the kitchen. And I actually enjoy cooking even more because I'm not worrying about accidents. Why this change matters. Making this switch isn't just about avoiding cuts. It's about staying independent and confident in the kitchen. Cooking is such a big part of who we are. It's how we care for ourselves, our partners, our kids, and our grandkids. By choosing safer tools, you're giving yourself the gift of continuing to do what you love without fear. Plus, these changes can inspire others in your life. Maybe your kids or grandkids will see you using a rocker knife and think, "Hey, that's pretty cool." It's a small way to pass down wisdom and show that aging doesn't mean slowing down. It means getting smarter. Addressing common concerns. I know some of you might be thinking, but I've used my chef's knife for decades, and I'm fine. And I hear you. Change can feel daunting. Here are a few common concerns and how to think about them. I don't want to spend money on new tools. I get it. Budgets are tight. Start small with a lightweight utility knife or a manual chopper. You can often find great deals at places like Target or Amazon. Or even check thrift stores for gently used tools. I'm worried I'll lose my cooking skills. You won't. Using safer tools doesn't mean you're less capable. It means you're adapting to keep doing what you love. Think of it like upgrading to reading glasses. You're just giving yourself the right tools for the job. What if my family thinks I'm being overly cautious? Share your reasons with them. Explain that you're making these changes to stay independent and keep cooking for them. Most likely, they'll be supportive and even inspired. A little inspiration. Let's take a moment to reflect on why we're here. Aging is a gift. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every laugh line tells a story of a life well lived. By making small changes like choosing safer kitchen tools, we're honoring that gift. We're saying, I want to keep living fully, cooking delicious meals, and sharing love with the people who matter most. That's what this channel is all about, finding ways to live healthier, happier, and wiser, no matter what age you are. Well, my friends, that's the scoop on why you might want to rethink using that big chef's knife after 60. It's not about giving up the joy of cooking, it's about finding safer, smarter ways to keep doing what you love. Whether it's switching to a lighter knife, trying a rocker knife, or even leaning on pre-cut veggies. These small changes can make a big difference in your safety and confidence. I'd love to hear from you. What's your favorite kitchen tool? And have you made any changes to make cooking easier as you've gotten older? Drop a comment below and let's keep this conversation going. Your wisdom and stories inspire me and everyone in this community. If you found this video helpful, Please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend or family member who might need to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a video. We've got so much more to talk about, everything from staying active to finding joy in the little moments. Until next time, take care of yourself, keep cooking with love, and remember, you're stronger, wiser, and more amazing than you know. See you soon.